appreciate you taking out the time. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am from Richmond, Virginia. I've basically been playing music ever since I was born. I remember like watching videos of like my parents recorded me and my brother just drumming. Uh, like I must have been like, I mean, as soon as I could like stand, basically, and like hold anything, apparently we used to like beat on pots and pans and stuff like that. What else could I say? Um, I mean, I just love music, like, and almost anything artistic. Like, I love visual arts. I like going to museums and stuff like that, and just like looking at different things, and just like, I mean, I mean, especially with like Instagram now and just quarantine, my friends have just been posting stuff that they've been like drawing,
Hmm.
and I don't know, like stuff like that. So I've just always been fat because I could never draw myself. When I was a kid, I was like, my handwriting is just terrible. So just saying that is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I just moved to New York. What was it, 2 years ago, whatever, 2018, and I had never thought that. I mean, this is crazy just being in this time because I was hoping like I'd maybe have gone on tour or whatever by then, or but I mean, I kind of have, but like going out the country, like I
Mm.
wanted to kind of do all that this year, and all that kind of got halted. But I mean, I've been back for a few months, and like I've been kind of playing around, like doing gigs and stuff like that. It's been cool. But I mean, I remember reading Miles Davis's autobiography when I was 11 or 12, and I had been to New York at that point, and I didn't know about the music scene or anything. So then I read that, and I was like, dang, I was just up there too, and I didn't know about any. Like I didn't know that this was the place, and it's crazy that I'm here now. It's like what, years later,
So,
trying to survive playing gigs.
so what brings you to New York? I know that you're there for music, but specifically, what are you doing? Are you in school?
Ah, I'm in school right now. Yes, I go to the Manhattan School of Music. So that was kind of my ticket to get up here. Because I remember, oh, this was 2018 when I was still in high school. I had not got, I mean, I wanted to go to Berkeley at one point because I had done Berkeley's 5-week program,
Mhm.
summer performance program 2016. And I got to study with Terry Lynn Carrington. And I wanted to study with her again because I mean, just like her musicianship is incredible, but Berkeley didn't give me enough money, so I was like, nah. And then I remember New School didn't give me that much money either, so I was gonna stay home to go to the local school, and then I got MSM was the last school to get back to me, and I got a scholarship and everything. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I am going to New York, kind of last minute, but I mean, it's crazy too because all the people that like I remember watching videos in high school, just all these cats just playing at all these clubs, and the
Mm.
fact that I'm now kind of, or I was able to do that at one point or another. It's crazy just being able to actually live your dreams, I guess.
Definitely. So, what are you
So,
studying?
uh, right now, jazz performance.
Mm.
I'm taking lessons privately with Kendrick Scott and Buster Williams.
Mm.
And it's crazy too because so when I started playing jazz, I was about 9 or 10. And there used to be this spot called the Capitol L House. And the first person outside of Richmond that I got to see play music or jazz was Buster. He brought his quartet down with Patrice Rushen, Steve Wilson, and who was on drums? Cindy Blackman. Uh, and I mean, Buster, he's played with He's played with Miles. He's played with I mean, literally like anybody you can name. He's played
Mm,
Mm.
Herbie. He's played with all those people.
wow.
So the fact that I'm able to study with him, and then right now, like we're not even really talking about me. I'm just talking to him. Like I just want to get his not like just whatever is in his head. I just want to I just want to talk to because I mean he's older too, and I've made that mistake of like hanging around older cats and just not asking them anything, and then they
Mm.
Hmm.
die, and I'm just like I just lost that. So now
Yeah.
I'm trying to just have that connection.
Mm. As a musician, out of all the genres, you choose to study and practice jazz. Why is that?
Well, so I do as a musician, I do play everything. Like I played in the cover band when I was in high school. I remember we were playing what Bruno Mars stuff. We were doing a lot, and
Mm.
it's funny because I didn't know any of those I mean, I'm mostly only listening to jazz and like hip hop and R&B. So like I don't really listen to like cats like that, like Bruno Mars and all that. But I remember we played all those gigs, and then now I'm here in my apartment in Harlem, and people play music loud as hell. And I'm just hearing all the songs I used to play in that band. I'm just like, oh crap. But I mean, the answer your question about jazz, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's definitely one of the first art forms in America that like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know, but it's just like I don't know like the feeling I get from playing it, but I can't describe it. It's just like especially when I'm playing with people that like just listen and pay attention. It's just the best feeling in the world.
Mm.
So I just want to be able to elevate that, and I just want to be able to bring, what's another word I'm looking for? I just want to like bring joy to people too.
Mm.
Because I know, especially when I'm listening to jazz, it's just like there's no other feeling. So I'm like listening to live music, people actually playing live music. It's just like it can bring me out of like the greatest depression ever. So
Mm.
I just want to be able to do that for other people. And jazz, in my viewpoint, is probably the best way for me to be able to do that.
What was your childhood like? What influenced your interest into music?
Oh, well, my dad actually played tenor sax in high school, but I didn't know that until I started playing drums. But so I remember, I mean, me and my brother, we were playing djembe and tune-ins and all that stuff around Richmond for years. So that was my first instrument, djembe. And me, him, and my dad, and like some other people sometimes, but mostly the three of us, we would go and just like play all these gigs around Richmond. And I remember I was about 6 or 7. I don't remember if they ever told us they were doing it, but I just remember my dad and my neighbor wheeling in the piano and me and my brother being all excited, like just messing around with it and all that. Like I remember we had like a chord chart, but I mean we didn't know how to read it. But I remember taking piano lessons, and then my older brother started taking jazz piano lessons at this spot called the Richmond Youth Jazz Guild. And so he did that I think he started the summer of 2008. And it wasn't until I think March of 2009 I I was homeschooled too. So my mom would take me and my two younger sisters along to my brother's piano lessons sometimes if like she just couldn't get someone to watch us, or if she was going to be gone for too long. But I remember this spot, they had a bass, an upright bass, and they had a drum set. And I remember telling my mom, hey, I want to learn how to play drums. And that after my brother's lesson, the dude took me behind the kit, started like showing me everything or whatever. Next week, I think I had my first lesson. And the week after that, I had bought my first set of drums. So, yeah, this was like 2008. So, this is a minute.
So in 2017, you had a gig in Vail, Arizona. What was that experience like? Was it Colorado or Arizona?
Vail, Colorado.
Okay.
Colorado. So there's this program called the Vail Jazz Workshop, and every summer they get a group of, how many of us were there? There was two ensembles basically worth of high schoolers, and we do a week of like workshops or whatever in Vail, Colorado. It was probably the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. Just in the mountains, it was crazy. I mean, every day, basically how our schedule was, it was taught by probably some of the greatest jazz musicians alive today. John Clayton on bass. He's also played with a majority of people. Lewis Nash on drums, who's also just helped me tremendously in getting my sound and shaping that. Terrell Stafford on trumpet. Wycliffe Gordon. He's played with like Wynton Marsalis and like all those people. Who's on piano? Bill Cunliffe and Jeff Clayton, John Clayton's brother, on alto. And I remember every day we would just like, first we would like they called it a rap session where one of them would just talk about their lives. But then we would just rehearse all day. Then we'd have lunch, and they'd take us like some crazy place in Vail. And they paid for all the food, so we could get whatever we wanted.
Uh-oh. I think we lost the sound. We lost your sound. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so fun fact, I dropped these AirPods, and no, I didn't drop them. I actually washed them on my pants, so they've kind of been going crazy. I have two pairs, thank God. Let me get the other one.
Okay. So I hear it's pretty tough getting acclimated with the altitude in Vail. What was your experience with like adjusting to that?
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So basically what they told us to do is they told us to drink a lot of water, which I did. So I didn't really have any problems. But I know towards the end of the camp, a lot of people started to get sick. Like Jeff, I think he was really sick. It was his birthday too. I remember he was sick as a dog. Because a lot of people just weren't drinking water and doing all that. I made sure like every day. I have a giant water bottle too, so I was staying pretty hydrated. But I went to Denver actually right before I came back to New York. When did I go? The beginning of August, because my friend they had like a lot of like pop-up gigs kind of. So I just went out there, and I know that this time I actually noticed the altitude. I mean, I wasn't even in Vail, but I noticed the altitude difference a lot more this time around. Probably also too because the fire started like halfway through my journey. I remember I was staying at this loft, and we had a beautiful view of the mountains. And by the time like the fire really started to spread, I couldn't see anything.
Wow.
And I was going out for walks and everything in the morning, but I couldn't do that anymore just because the smog or whatever, or the air quality was just so bad. But yeah, and I definitely felt it more this time around than back then. But yeah, no, a lot of people did get sick, if I remember correctly.
Can you share where you are currently studying music, what you're studying, and when do you complete your education?
So I am at Manhattan School of Music. Where is it located? Morningside Heights, like right off. Like I'm five minutes away from like Harlem ish. But I am studying jazz performance, and I should graduate if everything goes according to plan, 2022.
Okay.
So if everything goes according to plan, which it has been so far, but you never know. I almost took the semester off just because like we're kind of doing like hybrid, like online, and we're doing like in-person combos. Like, so we can actually play in person. But if we weren't going to be able to play, I was probably just going to take the semester. Or actually, I heard they're making people take the year off.
Oh.
Because, I mean, next semester we're going to be in the same boat. So, yeah, I was probably going to take the year off. But then I would have to graduate 2023. So,
what are your future aspirations post-graduation?
I kind of want to record a record. But I might do that before graduation. We will see. But I definitely want to travel. Like I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Europe. I want to go to all those places. I want to go back to Africa. I just want to travel. I mean, right before quarantine started, I actually did get to go to Vancouver for a second because I'm in this trio, and the pianist, she's from Vancouver. So and the bass player's from Seattle. So we did like a Seattle kind of Vancouver, literally like we recorded 2 albums right that we were going to record in like May or something right before everything happened. So I'm lucky that we did all that. But like I remember literally I was on my flight going home. I was trying to book it, and I was like, should I go back to New York or should I go back to Virginia, because I don't know what this is going to do. So but yeah, so I definitely want to travel more and hopefully record a record under my own name with my own compositions. So
what was adjusting to New York culture like?
Oh, it was crazy because I mean, back home in Virginia, I mean, stuff closes at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock, maybe that's the way. I mean, sometimes you're out to like 11 or 11:30, but I remember so many times going to Smalls at like 1 a.m. Like literally, like I'm leaving my house or my dorm to go somewhere at like 1 a.m. I don't get back until 4, and I got class at like 9, and I'm hungry too. Like I was like just up all night. Just the fact that like I mean Richmond, like we have like killing jazz musicians, but there's not a lot. There's just like everybody here, or at least a good majority of people here, are actually like really fucking good at their. I'm sorry, I cursed.
No, it's fine.
Really good at their instruments. So it's just having that, and the fact that it's New York too. Like, I mean, I remember my audition. I stayed with my cousin in Staten Island, and we took the ferry to South Ferry. And I just remember seeing how big the city was. I'd never seen anything so big like that. I'm like, oh crap, okay. But yeah, that was definitely a big adjustment. And now it's just like, like when I flew in, I was just like, oh, it's New York. I mean, I've been here for 2 years, so it's just like whatever. But I still remember the first day moving in and all that. I was just like, I can't believe I'm here. This big ass city, but.
In your opinion, which one do you prefer, Manhattan or Richmond? Okay, I mean, not Manhattan, so, Harlem. You're living in Harlem, so.
Mm-hmm. So you say Harlem or Richmond?
Harlem or Richmond.
So, I mean, I remember when I left to come here, I was like, I can't wait to get the F up out of here. But now that I've been here for 3 years, I mean, I like them both for their own different things. I like the hustle and bustle of Harlem and New York in general, because I never kind of run out of stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Richmond because I can think when I'm there. Like, whenever I'm home for the summer or whenever I'm home for the holiday, I can actually think. So but then sometimes I just run out of things to do. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like I gotta feel like I gotta balance everything in a way. So. But if I had to say I would prefer any of them right now, I'm probably leaning more towards Harlem, just because I was home for like 6 or 7 months. So I'm kind of like, I'm at that point now where I'm just like, yeah, I need to get out of there. That's why I went to Denver, really, because I was like, yeah, I need to get out. Because I wasn't expecting to be home for so long, because I mean, school we get out in May normally, and I'm back May till like August. But I remember being back in March, and I'm like, why am I here? So yeah.
As a percussionist, do you have an instrument that you prefer?
You're talking about like out of the kit, or like just any percussion?
Any percussion instrument.
Well, I mean, I would just have to say like the set in general. I would probably say now, if I had the favorite like unit or part of that kit, it would probably be the ride cymbal, just because just the things you can do with it alone. It's just musicality wise. I remember when I started listening to Tony Williams back when I was 14, and just that 5-stroke like ride pattern that he does. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just my favorite thing to hear and listen to and try to play. And I remember when Terry taught me that, and I was just like, I have no idea how the hell to do this. It was like one of those things. I've always been like this for drums, where like someone will teach me something and I can't do it, and I'll just like push it away or whatever, and then I'll come back to it, and I can do it all like maybe like a year later, and I can almost do it. I'm just like, wow, wait, what? So yeah, ride cymbal definitely is probably my favorite.
Are you versed in instruments beyond percussion?
So I mean, piano a little bit. I kind of stopped practicing, but I can still play all the stuff I could play back when I played piano. I played bass for a second, but I kind of put that down. I can still I can learn bass lines. It'll take me a second, but I can learn some. I guess a little bit of guitar too, because bass and guitar are very similar. So I can play like scales and all that. But I can't really play any woodwind or brass instruments. I've always wanted to play trumpet, but it's too hard. Too much of a beast. I cannot make a good sound at all in trumpet.
So quick question for you. Phil and I have this debate about a bass and a cello. What is the difference between the two? Are they the same thing? Are they different? Like a bass and a cello?
So a bass, I mean, I'm gonna explain this like terribly.
Yeah.
But I mean, so they both have 4 strings. Actually, I don't know what 4 strings are on the cello, but the bass is normally an E, A, D, and a G, and bass is in bass clef. I think cello is don't know what clef cello's in, actually. I'm pretty sure it's just in regular treble. Generally, I mean, the bass has a deeper pitch just because it's in bass clef and all that. And just the uses for it are just different, I guess. Even though, I mean, I was actually listening to the Bach cello suite earlier today, and a lot of bass players actually play that same thing. I remember Ron Carter was doing a master class at MSM, and he just had like people just play that. So, but I mean, they're two completely different instruments.
But one you stand and one you sit, right?
I mean, you can sit playing both, but yes, one you stand, one you sit. I mean, I know cats that sit and play upright, so. But yes, one you stand, one you sit, generally speaking.
Okay. How does your upbringing support your aspirations as a musician?
That was a very good question. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, my parents did push arts. Like, I mean, they took us to art classes, even though I was terrible at visual arts, like I said. I mean, my mom we did swimming at one point. We just tried a lot of stuff. And I feel like jazz is a way for you to also try a lot of things. Because, I mean, there's so many styles within this one genre, I guess, of music. And just you can do so many things with like one piece, for example. So like, I don't know, I guess just having our parents just like kind of just have us do a lot in a way kind of made me want to do a lot within this music. So yeah.
How has your spirituality impacted your willingness to pursue music?
I haven't even thought about that. I've never actually thought about that. I don't even know. I'm just gonna say I don't know.
What do you intend to do with the music that you create?
I just want to be able to impact and warm the hearts of everyone that listens to me. Because I mean, like I said before, music has gotten me out of some of my deepest depressions. So I just want I just want to be like that to someone else, you know, just like if someone's just having a bad day, just like, I just want to be able to uplift them somehow, some way, some shape or form. So.
Do you have any favorite current jazz musician artists today?
I have a bunch. So I did the Young Arts program with this trumpet. Actually, everyone in that band I love, but particularly this trumpet and this saxophone player. So the trumpet player's name is Gifton Gel, and he just released an album with, who was on that? Emmanuel Wilkins, who also just released an album with Kwaku Sumbri, one of my favorite drummers. Gifton, Emmanuel Wilkins on sax. Who's on piano? Well, why am I forgetting? Micah Thomas on piano. Philip Norris on bass. I just played a gig with Philip and this cat, Julius Rodriguez, actually on Sunday at Smoke. Probably one of my favorite gigs that I've ever done in my life. But Kyle Benford was on drums, and I think the album came out right around my birthday, and I remember just like listening to it like every day. Basically, I remember when I met that dude, and I just knew like he's gonna go on to do big things, and now he's going on to do big things. So, and then the saxophone player in our group when we did Young Arts, Morgan Guerin, he's released 3 albums called the Saga Part 1, the Saga Part 2, and the Saga Part 3. And I know the first 2 albums, I think he played every instrument on every track, because he plays sax, but he also is an amazing drummer, an amazing pianist, an amazing bass player. I think he also plays guitar too. I mean, he's one of those dudes that play everything. So he's been releasing stuff. There's this band from Richmond called Butcher Brown. I remember when did I first hear about them? Well, the drummer in that band, Corey, he used to live in Richmond. And I remember like back when I started like playing jazz and getting more serious about it, I met him. And I remember hearing about that band, and I like sat in with like the bass player from that band, like one gig or whatever. And like, I didn't know at the time that he was in Butcher Brown. Like I remember seeing them when I was like 15 or whatever. I was like, dang, these guys are good. And now they're like touring Europe and stuff like that. And like I mean, I still like play gigs with that same bass player like to this day. So, Robert Glasper, of course, one of my favorites. Who else? Let me. I have my Spotify pulled up. I'm just gonna go through my Spotify playlist.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Our son seems to be extremely interested in music. He's only 1 year old, but whenever we turn on Kamasi Washington, Henrietta, or
Thundercat. Henrietta. Thundercat. Yeah.
How do we cultivate his interest in music? Because it seems like he has a natural knack for it.
But specifically, like things that are instrumental, mostly.
Well, I don't know what my parents did, but like I said, I remember they told me like we used to be beating on pots and pans and stuff like that. I guess just keep showing him different things and like just pulling out different stuff and see how he reacts. And I guess when he's old enough, if he starts like, I don't know, hitting things, or maybe like, like sometimes people like start fake singing, stuff like that. They'll pretend like they're playing an instrument. Buy them that instrument. Or just, I mean, like I said, I didn't know my parents were, I mean, I don't know, this is years ago, but I didn't know they were getting that piano. And now my brother's a pianist. So, I don't know. You just gotta be spontaneous, I guess.
Thank you. Where would you consider living after you finish your education?
So I've been thinking, this is a question I've been thinking about. Either staying here in Harlem, going back to Richmond, or just like being that dude that disappears for like 10 or 15 years and then comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like either Harlem, Richmond, or maybe moving to the West Coast. But I've still never been to Cali, and I kind of want to go out there for at least like a year or two. So
yeah. I think being that dude would be fun. Just go for it.
I just kind of just want to do something different, or go somewhere different. Like go somewhere I haven't been yet. So maybe I'll move out the country. We'll see. We'll see with what Corona does. So because right now I can't do that. But
what advice would you give to a future musician who wants to pursue a career in education as a musician?
You mean like if they want to go to like this conservatory or something to study?
If they want to just be a musician, period.
Oh, just be a musician.
What steps do you think they should take?
Oh, okay. Well, don't give up. That's probably the biggest advice, because I remember when I first moved up, I got pretty depressed. Probably around this time of October, it's like I almost quit music. It was that bad. And I'm glad I didn't, because like I don't know why I had this idea. Well, also, I mean, I would say don't get ahead of yourself, and don't be too cocky too. Because I don't know why I thought I had this idea I would start like hopping on gigs and stuff like that, and that just didn't happen. And I was just like, oh, well, because I was basically trying to live up to like people like Tony Williams, who was touring with models when he was 16, and I was 18, and I had never been on a tour, and I was just like, oh, well. And I remember I was playing sessions sometimes, and I remember I played the session, and I was like flipping the form to like tunes that like I have known for a minute. I was just bombing hard. I've never actually really done that before, and it was just like, oh. So, and I would say be humble too, because I mean humbleness can get you far. Just not being cocky or too ahead of yourself or anything like that. Knowing when to take breaks. Because there's a lot of times, there'll be like a week sometimes where I don't even touch the instrument, just because like I've just been so tired and I just need a break from it. And I feel like a lot of people are scared to do that. Like I know people that are like practicing like all the time, then they end up getting something like carpal tunnel and all that, where like I'm just like, I've never had experience with that, because like I just know when to rest and when to take a break. Because I've had moments where my wrist or like arm kind of starts hurting. I don't know, okay, I gotta stop. I just gotta stop, just rest. And then I'm fine. But I know people that they'll be like, oh, my wrist starts hurting, and then they'll still keep playing and doing that. The next thing that I know, they got the sling or something around their hand or whatever. I'm like, I'll need to take breaks. But that being patient as well, but that also ties into everything. Because like now it's like, it's crazy, because so I told you I played at Smoke with Julius Rodriguez and Philip Norris on Sunday. And I remember I've been listening to them for their trio for a minute, and I remember I got the text. So I was going for a bike ride in Central Park, and I saw it, and I was about to. So this program has been having people play at the statue, and I was going to watch a performance. And I remember getting the text, and I almost didn't take the gig, well, mostly because it was last minute, and I was like, I kind of want to be prepared, and my friend was there, and he was like, "Yo, you take that fucking gig," and I did it. It ended up being one of the best gigs that I've ever done. Because I'm nervous, like when it comes to like doing last minute gigs, because cats like to bring hard tunes sometimes, and just like sight reading. My sight reading isn't the best. I can manage, but I remember I texted him. I was like, "Bro, send me like your music." And I remember I went home, like I didn't even watch the performance. I biked right back home and I listened to everything multiple times just so I'd be ready. Cause like I'm not fucking this up. So, and like I said, it was a fun gig. So,
in addition to taking breaks, how do you practice self-care?
I mean, I like to exercise. Like I said, I bought a bike. It was actually kind of so I've had a bike back home for years, but my parents would never like let me ride it outside the backyard. So I kind of I got boring really fast. And then when quarantine started and all the gyms were closed, I didn't have anything to do. But then I was like, oh, I have a bike. So I started biking around. I saw areas of my neighborhood that I had never seen before, biking around and stuff like that, just getting the exercise. And when I moved up here, I think someone had talked about like city bike and all that. I was like, oh, I was gonna get a membership, but then I have a friend that works at a bike shop, and I was like, yo, do you like know of any like bikes that are cheap that I could buy? And I got one for like $300, and I've just been going. Like I biked to Brooklyn from my spot. What was it, 2 weekends ago? I do like the Central Park bike loop every day if I can. Which is that joint is tough. It doesn't look like it, but the hills are crazy. There's times where I'm just like, I don't even know if I can make this joint. But yeah, I mean, I drink a lot of water. I mean, I'm a musician, so I'm up late like constantly. I'm trying to get my sleeping habits better because like I mean, I didn't go to bed until like 2-3 a.m. last night. But yeah, I'm trying to do better with sleep because I've been pretty tired actually as of recently. Just like not, I remember I was in combo at Thursday and I was starting to fall asleep while I was playing. But yeah, I mean just water, trying to work out as much as I can, trying to go for walks too and be in the sun and nature. Because I mean, living on campus the past 2 years, so MSM's campus or the dorms are connected to the main building. So there'd be days where I wouldn't even go outside because I could just walk in between. And also the food there is god awful. So that just didn't help my mental health at all. But yeah, just trying to go out and go for more. Because I mean, if I have to go anywhere, I have to go outside now. Like if I have to go to school, I have to go outside instead of just walking between the buildings. But just doing that and just like, I mean, I love listening to music and podcasts too because it just lets me clear my head and think about different things. So, yeah.
How can we follow your journey as a musician?
Well, I have Instagram. I'm on there. I post pretty regularly. I'm thinking about making a YouTube channel. One of my goals, I never did this, but I was gonna start like, I mean, people have done this before, so I'm kind of ripping people off. But I was gonna like start releasing videos from like sessions that I just have random musicians, like friends that went to school and who didn't go to school. I play with pretty regularly. Me and my friends just released an album. We go by the name Friendship. It's on Bandcamp, I believe. So if you guys want to check it out, maybe buy it. It's on there.
Yeah, we'd love to.
But what else? I mean, I don't know if I want to record an album this year, just with COVID and all this happening. But I might go into the studio soon and. Well, I need to start writing more stuff. I have like one tune that I really like, and I have one tune that I hate that I wrote. So I kind of want to like update the one that I hate, and I want to start writing more stuff because I do my first record. I do want to do like just a standards trios like kind of record, so we don't have to really think about the composition. We can just play. But I don't want to have to pay any royalties. So we'll see what's good with that. But
So what is your Instagram before we
it should be Kofi _Shepsu.
Okay.
So I mean, I change the name pretty frequently sometimes, but right now it should be that. And I mean, my Facebook, I post stuff every once in a while. Um, I need everyone. The thing is, everyone keeps asking me for business cards. I need to make one. I've never like had any cards. Everyone's like, "You have cards?" I'm like, "No." So I need to make some cards. But I think I might try and, because I mean, I can still do the standards video thing where like I play with friends, but right now it's kind of limited because MSM is only allowing people to play that are like that go to school. So if you don't go to school, you can't access the building, which is smart with how everything is happening. But it's just like I can't really play with a lot of people anymore. There's a lot of pianists I like playing with too, but we can't really busk with a piano. So because no electricity for a keyboard, so there's just like a whole bunch of people I can't really play with. So, but yeah. So I mean, all those, you can follow me on there. And yeah.
Cool. Great. We just want to thank you again for taking the time out to speak with us. You dropped a lot of gems, and
Sure
we really
did.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for having me. You too. You guys too. Have a nice day.
You too.